obviously, the Democrats wanted a full and complete exoneration of Joe Biden. They wanted to frame it in that lens, and that's just not what happened. I mean, obviously, it was actually the opposite of an exoneration. It was as close to you get to as an indictment as you possibly can. You know, he used his discretion as a prosecutor to make the judgment that he couldn't win this at trial, and according to DOJ standards, that's what, you know, he has to do. But there was the evidence, there were the facts that lined up with the law, and it was certainly a technical criminal violation multiple times, and they just weren't willing to take it to a grand jury or ultimately present it to a jury.
Matt, this report came out on February the 5th. Within 7 days of this report, Joe Biden confused the president of Mexico with the president of Egypt. He said he talked to the German chancellor, Helmut Kohl, who died in 2021, so 4 years ago. He also said that he talked with French President Francois Mitterrand, who died back in 1996. And it's for reasons like this, I think, that Robert Hur had to specify why Biden wasn't charged. He said Biden is an elderly man with a poor memory, and that wouldn't play well with a jury. And yesterday, Democrats kept saying that, well, Robert Hur's not a doctor. He's got no right to go into speculative territory. Matt, you were Attorney General. Is this common practice for lawyers to go into speculation? But basically, I think Hur needed to justify why he wasn't moving forward with recommending charges.
Well, exactly. As I mentioned, this was a violation of federal law. It's a criminal statute. And so he needed to explain why he wasn't going to take this case forward. I think that was probably the limitation of yesterday's hearing, was he just did not really capture how much discretion he had to bring this case. And to quite honestly contrast that with Jack Smith, who is proceeding on a similar set of facts against Donald Trump. And I just think at the end of the day, this is where the two-tiered system of justice comes from. You have the same facts given to two different prosecutors. One ends up prosecuting it, the other ends up not prosecuting it. So I thought that, you know, the attempt to also equate Joe Biden's memory lapses and that we all see with our own eyes, and Donald Trump, who is campaigning 24/7, was a massive fail, and just reminded everybody how much stronger and mentally acute Donald Trump is versus Joe Biden.
Yeah, Robert Hur's exact words in the report: a well-meaning elderly man with poor memory. That's the line that has many Democrats very upset, up in arms. So, of course, he had to defend his findings and defend what he said yesterday. So I think we have a clip of that, of what he said regarding the president's age and why he discussed his memory. Take a listen.
The president himself put his memory squarely at issue. We interviewed the president and asked him about his recorded statement. Quote, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs," end quote. He told us that he didn't remember saying that to his ghostwriter. He also said he didn't remember finding any classified material in his home after his vice presidency. And he didn't remember anything about how classified documents about Afghanistan made their way into his garage.
He didn't remember a lot. So where does this go from here?
Well, I mean, it's a political hot potato now. I mean, I think this situation, Rob Hur is going to recede back, at least as a person, into ordinary mainstream America. But this issue is going to live on because, you know, Joe Biden continues to provide fresh material on his memory issues, on his ability to do the job of president. But it's also going to, I think, contrast what is happening to Donald Trump in Florida and elsewhere versus what has happened to Joe Biden, Mike Pence, and others who have been not charged with similar crimes.
Matt, can I ask you a simple question? If Robert Hur concluded that Joe Biden's not fit to stand trial because between the years he's lost a step, how's he fit to be president?
Well, I think that's the main question that's going to be on the ballot in November. I think it is, not only now, but as we proceed another 4 or 5 years into that. Is he going to be able to keep up, or are we going to end up with ultimately a President Kamala Harris? And I think that needs to be vetted by the American people and decided in November.